Yeah, it's recording.
Okay, good. I don't know what the hell was going on.
Did you try and put the tape in another time?
We do have a prize for the first person who responded and paid, and that was Polly Neville. And since Greg was telling everybody who the youngest Neville was, Neville, a little gift.
Yeah.
You gotta show me this.
So precious.
You gotta show her to the camera.
But we have finally figured, we think, if we're wrong, let us know, that Dan Phillips from Rhode Island wins that one.
All right. Yeah, it is.
And the best golfer, I understand, is Mr. Bill Stowe. Am I right? But he gets the prize.
He was the best golfer today.
Be specific, right?
How did it happen? I know.
Yeah. And we had a couple people capsize, but the winner's not here.
Yeah.
Because we had a couple boats that flipped, Tom's kayak flipped.
He was
And
testing the kayak.
Yes. And we had Whitney and Todd flip. Josh, I'm sorry. Flip. And so we thought, we thought, we had the oldest one who would have been Tom, or Dakota who would have been the youngest. So we're going to give it to Dakota since he's the youngest. So since she's not here, you're going to have to give it to him.
All right.
Is it?
Oh.
Our final gift.
Now we're going to have a great Mexican dinner.
Wait a minute, before we go, I'd like to propose a round of applause for Mark, Becky, and Maureen for all the hard
Saturday night.
Absolutely. I thought
All the time.
that's
Well,
so the
we
band,
don't know what
they
they're
have a
doing.
hangover tomorrow, they wouldn't go to church.
at the reunion, we've always had.
Absolutely. Particularly.
Sun's over there.
No, but I can see him good right now. Working now.
Are you close enough?
Yeah.
You're handsome.
I want to see what this tastes like just in case. I like it, but I don't think I'm going to.
Big, I can't hear him out there.
You know, he's like the Dixon start putting
John.
some ice in the anyway. I'm going to get that
large amount of ocean.
Enough.
It looks like it's very pale.
No, 50%. Only, there's
50% vodka,
one thing.
50% orange juice. It's a
There's
good
one
combination.
Well, you know, I mean,
It's only 80 proof.
all things in moderation, you know.
Yeah.
I taught you that a long time ago, remember?
Dad did that. That was Dad's deal.
Well, of course, yeah. But he didn't ever
He
get
taught you that.
He never got through to us, so.
No, he sure did. Just imagine. I remember getting in the car and say, running down the window, said, God damn, he didn't swear very often.
No.
God damn coffin nails. I light up a cigarette.
Well,
Where did I get the
Dad
courage?
hated
Get in
cigarettes.
Dad's
Yeah,
car.
how did you dare?
I'm
I
driving.
have no idea how you did that.
Dad, I
No,
get
I
in Dad's
can't
car
believe you.
and light up a
I
cigarette.
can't believe
You, I mean, John could have done it.
Yeah, John.
Your father could have done it.
He would have.
And Dad probably
He would have made
chuckled
Dad smile.
because he was
Crooked
John was
smile.
the favorite
Yeah.
one.
Crooked smile. But a smile.
Yeah,
Yeah, John.
yeah. Yeah, but going back to the pants, you know, man, no man can
Take my
take my
living
pants
man.
off.
Take my
Dad, anybody else in the
Dad
family
was-
do that,
would
they're
chuckle.
dead meat. John did, he chuckled.
Dad was on the land.
Nobody else can make
Except,
Dad
literally,
smile,
First
John.
landing, this is
Couldn't
what
make
makes
me.
He was on the land.
Very definitely.
Was he really that funny?
About me, definitely destruction.
He was Dad's.
Probably send back,
Son,
they send you back down to St. Anne's to
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
put
Try
you on a
again.
young spec again.
Yeah.
Except at that point you were 17 years old.
They
And who the hell was he? 17
Oh,
years old.
Oral Barnes told me that because he was an orphan up there in eastern Idaho. Nobody would take a guy after about 12 or 13,
Yeah,
unless they could work on the farm.
Well, that was it.
Strong.
And then the other thing was,
Big and
we
strong.
used to have, when we lived down in South State, before you were born, of course, before you were born. But we had,
You mean that's when everybody were giants?
we had a girl, we had a lady, a young girl by the name
Yeah.
of Annie. She was one mean little bitch, and she was, she was an orphan.
What do you say?
But
Now,
they
here,
bring her
here,
out to
here. We edit that out.
Delete that.
what did I say?
Who way out of the tape?
Well, she was. And it scared me to death. She'd have boyfriends come out. And John and I are little teeny.
No.
Well, God, how old are we? We're 3-4 year old kids, And the folks go out, and then she'd sneak her boyfriends out, and they'd be having a hell of a good time, probably.
Your mother and father did that to you?
Yeah. Your mother and father.
She had a babysitter?
Of course, they didn't know anything. And we weren't old enough to complain.
As long as we're
She
doing it for
threatened you
film,
to
and we've
silence.
got to bring it to an end. We've got to get everybody mentioned that isn't here. And now we discussed Bill,
Oh, Bill?
We talked about Bill's and his
Yeah.
sleepwalking.
Bill was a
And of course, Bill,
great fellow.
We
Fine,
didn't talk about that.
fine young man. Fine.
Yeah.
and Bill had a remarkable touch with the ladies. He
Oh.
did have a remarkable touch.
Oh,
He was so God blessed cool with the ladies. None of them, well, at least I could never even talk to girls, And Bill would they just crowd around him, and because he was like magic. He was like my Bill. He was like my Bill.
Yeah.
God, if you the women.
This is true.
God, he was visiting me down there.
We'd go down every summer for years to the beach for a
Gets a
couple
phone
of
call
months.
at 2 o'clock in the
yeah.
morning.
And Bill would, Bill,
most of you.
and he was a nice looking guy and everything, but I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that wasn't really the point. He'd go on and he had this sort of friendly, kind of charm, and pretty soon, and the rest of the summer, the girls are all around Bill.
We always
They're
had
looking for
clubs,
Bill. When's
girls'
Bill gonna
clubs.
show up? Yeah.
Always had girls' clubs. Bill was always the president. I can remember names from.
I guess we can't.
Marjorie Moon.
We better not
Marjorie
mention.
Murray.
We better not mention Mary Louise Stevens.
No,
Please.
let's
Don't,
leave it alone.
She got us all.
You certainly may. We were just talking about
Especially
your
now.
father.
John.
Everybody.
Everybody. I don't think Bill.
Better than
Oh yeah,
anybody.
John.
You know what? The time I had a guilty look again on the face all the time because I thought I was the only one.
Everybody. All the boys except Chick.
Yeah, check this out.
And I remember her sister got to me a little bit when I was really little, see, and didn't even know what the hell was going on. And she, you have one.
Well,
I heard you.
Just a wee draft.
Anyway, she got to all of us. And her sister, boy, she was a good. And I was just a little kid, and she tried me out a little bit, She says to me, going back, well, I'm about 7, 8 years old, right? I think she says, we didn't really do it. And then Lynn and Charlotte Barley did. They were across the street up the street. They're brother and sister.
Why don't we?
But Mary Louise,
Mary Louise.
very dear
I
friend,
remember.
very dear friend.
Let's kind of keep our focus on keep our focus on this.
Thank you, Bob. There's an audience either way.
Okay, we covered Bill. Let's see, Charlie. You know, Charlie was the top dog. He was like the top sergeant. You know, the top.
Very
dog
much
of
so.
the
Very
family.
much.
And just Anya, mercifully, except for me, he was really good to me.
See, there
Yeah,
again.
I was
Dad
the
never spanked
baby,
him.
and he was.
Charlie was good to him.
Yeah.
And what is?
Yeah.
How come?
Well, I was the middle, and
Why
everybody
did
got
you-
me.
Why were you so lucky?
Just
He was the
charming,
baby.
I guess.
He was the babes.
Just charming. The baby of the
Of course,
family.
after
What are you
me,
gonna
I
say?
guess he looked good.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently I found a lot of things out since then. but,
I would
I
phone-
thought he was, good too, real perfect. Say.
Didn't really
I
know.
found a few things out about him since then. I'm not going to mention, but I thought,
I'd phone
my little brother,
Charlie every day.
Beebs. Yeah.
And you know, when he was down, he was working for Dad for a while, and I'd say, I'd phone him up and I'd say, well, bring me a candy bar. And he'd do it, or anything, and he'd do this all the time. And he was really, really good to me.
Well, now I'm
He was actually good to all of us.
The great
Christmas,
present was
he-
not from Mom and Dad to me, it was always from Charlie.
Yeah, at Christmas, Charlie spent more money than Mom and Dad did on gifts
Yeah.
for all of the rest of the
Well,
kids. He
hey,
did.
hey, that's going way too far because that we always got something like a wagon or a bike.
Well,
I remember I got a little Jim bicycle. My God, it was the most
Did he say
wonderful
that's
thing.
going
The problem was, see, he was 23 at the time.
It was a little teeny bicycle. That was a great big guy.
He was in college at the time. But what the heck?
The only reason Charlie ever got married, the only reason he ever left home is because he had to go in the service. And what was he, 27 when he
Yeah,
went
he
out?
met Gladys in Italy.
He met Glass over there in Florence, Italy, and they got married, But otherwise, he'd just still been living.
Yeah,
The old Irish way.
instead, we'd all take his car. I'd have a date, or he'd have a date, whoever has a date. We'd all get the chick's car. It was chick's car, but we'd borrow it from him. And he'd say no at first. He says, "I've got a date." I said, "Chick, you don't have a
He
date.
knew damn well.
You never have a date."
He was kind of like another.
About 8:30 at night, he'd pick up the phone and make a lame try.
Oh, gosh.
of getting
She
a
went
date.
to bed, I'm sorry.
He thought-
He
Well, he had one
never
side of
had
love.
any dates.
He had one side of love, which I don't think he ever dated her. That was Mary Ellen Purcell. She was a very beautiful
Really?
lady. Purcell.
Probably
I
never even
remember
asked her
Purcell.
out, for hell's sake.
I don't think so. But yet, he did have a real crush on her.
Did he?
Yeah.
Mary, I actually
Oh, and by the way, when I met Sally, we started talking, and of course the first thing was the Boise background. I would do anything to make a contact with her because I was already out of my mind. And
We knew that you were out of your mind.
She told
What do you mean about Sally? I'm sorry.
Anyway, but she says, try it. And
He knows I have a grip on mine.
I know it's his recording in.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got it.
Did Dad have a love before Mom?
Dad, have a
My
love.
dad have a love.
You'd have to ask this one.
Yeah.
I don't really believe it.
No, I don't think.
This I
I don't really think he. I don't ever remember going.
He had one girl, and I'll tell you about it. He fell madly in love when we were just the seniors. I think he was the first year back from Santa Clara. And he had this girl, and all of a sudden he was just out of his mind over this girl. His name was Patsy Gilligan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Patsy Gilligan.
all right. But so, and of course, I immediately got very upset.
Right.
So I
And
suggested that he think about her sitting on a toilet or something. I managed to kill his love, just in a couple of days,
Think about her sitting on a toilet.
Well, I really didn't like the idea that he was suddenly out of his mind over this because he and I were close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That hasn't got
he was the
sound.
boss. That was how I did.
Oh, he
And,
makes
and it did. Hey,
My
look
God.
at
This is just like Phil.
timing. He's no longer.
Patsy Gilligan incident. They have kids that judge right now. Or his grandchild has children that judge. His grandchildren.
Is it Gilligan's?
Ted Smythe's son.
Son would have
has children.
Has children.
Yeah, I told you that. Remember, you were talking about getting in a fist fight with Ted Smythe.
Oh my
Or
God!
one
Yeah,
year.
what a fight! What a fight! I
Now,
remember
Patsy Gilligan.
he called me. He got in an argument with this guy, and we were drinking down at Goggins' place, and he lived in this big old house in the middle of Liberty Park. And he, this guy, he's talking. We're talking about the great fighter. I said, well, you know, he was talking about Dempsey being the greatest fighter. And I said, well, you know, what about Joe Lewis?
And that goes back to
Well, so he decides to call me a nigger lover. God, I took after him. And it was 3 guys on each side. He was a pretty big guy, too. And I remember they pulled us apart, and there were a couple of them were University of Utah football players. And they were holding me down. I picked up 3 of them to go get him. You know, but it was a real knockdown, drag-out fight. So I was just trying to point out
He
that.
broke John's heart, married.
Yeah, maybe that was it. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to ask Julie when I see her
What?
about this Patsy Gilligan.
She didn't know anything about Patsy Gilligan. Absolutely. No.
So why would you ask Julie? I mean,
There's an old picture
We're
we had
talking-
of him on the beach with this woman that had long dark hair.
Oh, well,
Debating.
he did have some dear friends.
Dear friend.
Don't show this to Julie.
Jim,
No, we won't.
add it, you know.
Edit it out.
You can delete that picture.
Yeah, we can delete.
Well,
Okay,
have you ever
are we
seen
sure now?
you've seen your father
We've
and
done
the way
this
he
question.
looked when he was young, you know? You were, hey, he was about that. You know, he's the one guy
Yeah.
who looked just like
They
that.
snapped, didn't they?
I mean, he was the handsomest man.
He's
and Dad,
72, way over.
and and Norman.
Oh my God, you were all great looking. You were all devastatingly
Doug.
good looking.
But, well, you're on Dad's side. And,
I've always been on Dad's side. I liked
So
him a
your
lot.
boys.
but I'm on Mom's side.
Except when he put me over his knee. Woggle toes hurts me more than it hurts you. Wham, wham. You never got that.
No, I never.
Yeah, but hey.
Well, I never
Wait,
drilled.
with you, he did it with his hand. With me, he did it with a strap. He used to have a belt.
Yeah.
You know, in the old days, the belts were not like this, like
Yeah.
the new belt.
Nobody
like
knows
this.
what hell.
At least he
is.
didn't hit me with the butt.
Nobody knows the pain that Jim has caused. Nobody. I mean, nobody.
He was lashed by his father.
The round,
Oh,
remember the round place?
oh, that's right. Where they'd hang you by the post and they
Yeah,
beat
the
you.
round place,
Yeah,
they
I
hang you in the
remember
middle.
that.
Jim remembers that.
Mom was off.
Oh, yeah. Mom's good to meet you. Smack me up the side of the head once in a while, though. She's got a temper, boy.
She didn't bother me.
Of course, I had it coming, you understand? I understood that. I mean, I had it coming. But whammo, she didn't need it.
What was the time span between the oldest and the youngest?
18 years.
Norma,
She
you
was
mean
having
Norma,
kids.
Norma,
Over 18 years.
Norma
Close to
Mary
19
and
years.
Bob.
Yeah, I was.
Norma Mary was-
I'm sure that I was.
She was born
much
1909 and I'm
after that. I was
1918.
Almost 4 years after
He's
him.
1928. So
And so I
Like
was,
19.
mother had to be in her
could be 19
40
years.
something. In those days, that was a good deal more dangerous, I think.
Oh, God.
And now,
Yeah.
you know, women are now having babies, but they prepare for it, you know.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Well,
medical.
Maureen,
Yeah, it was all just by happenstance.
Maureen's 8.5 years younger than I am.
No, I remember. I remember
Almost
hearing
40.
Maggie was pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah, she turned 40 in August, and she had
Apparently it was something.
Yeah, we had Bill. She was 37.
Maureen is 8.5.
And I'm glad Bill and I are good buddies, you know, real close. I'm closer to him.
8.5 years later.
I shouldn't say that. So you can start just recording
Rude. At 38, that car. Yeah, pretty scary, those cars.
Well, Mike was right. He was.
How many children hang?
Well, they have,
We don't want to talk about the Vascos.
no. Now, this is a
No,
number.
I do. You know,
Hey, so who looks like your mom and who looks like your dad?
He looks like
he's a
Dad.
tweener.
He
We're,
does.
we're Mom's side.
I think he goes both ways.
Yeah, kind of.
If you'll excuse the expression. And I'm also suspected that.
This is her father.
Oh, my dear
No, that was-
God in heaven, that's what I
That was
You
a
know
little
my
joke
daughter.
there. Let me
clarify that.
rephrase that.
Yes,
No, but you, I think you look like both mother and father. And
Kind of,
he and I and Charlie both
only in
look
the
like
older
Mother
years.
John,
When you were young, I thought you were on our side, but when you're older, I put you on Dad's side.
Okay, so make sure
But
we
of
got
course,
that.
I'm
John,
their
nor Mary,
mother.
and Bill look like
And Chick was mother.
Dad.
He's kind of in between.
Doug's in
Jim and I-
between.
I
Jim
see
and I and
pictures
Charlie.
of you.
kind of look-
Jim and Bob and Charlie look like, come on.
Yeah, I do look a lot like, probably more like Charlie than.
Yeah, we had that one.
One thing we should make a comment is about the fact that my brother Chick was the greatest tease in the whole world. He couldn't help it.
Yeah.
Gosh, I remember one time I heard this story. He was at a bar, someplace in Bill, and the guy he would goad people.
And I was doing the
You know, take a dig at us. Recently, this guy says, "Okay," he says, "Come on outside." He said, "Okay, we'll go outside." Guy goes outside, waits. Now he goes back, and Chick's still in the bar.
That was great. That's
He never went off to the light. He said so. It never came off. That was.
just explained that to Roseanne. She agreed with me that I am a fan.
But, you know, the other we should really talk about.
Well,
I think Laura Mary was one of the most beautiful,
When it was.
beautiful women I have ever seen in my life. Cat. When I was about 16, 17 years old, she would run around seeing bra panties. She didn't think I was depressed. I was. God. You know, well, she thought just I'm a brother. But I, underneath it all, she was on that. God, she looked.
I'm talking about the
She was so beautiful. So beautiful. Well, she looked just like
but
Dad.
he still started.
Dad was a beautiful man. She was a beautiful woman. And just, oh, God, I'm just, obviously. But Nora Mary was the picture of Dad. She was the picture. And then the next was, of course, John. And John was Dad's #1 favorite. John really couldn't do anything wrong in Dad's eyes.
Charlie was born first.
I know, no. Well, it was John J. I don't know what Chick, he named Chick after his brother, who I say was 6'6".
Wow.
Yeah.
And he was born in 1880. These guys try to shorten him by a quarter of an inch or half inch or something.
Or about
He was 6.
Come on, you better be.
And my God, I was 6 foot and about half inch. I was 6 foot and a half inch. My dad towered over me, and so did, of course, John. You can see there's some pictures around when John got his spurt of growth. I'm about up to his belt. And of course, in those days, I had to pay dearly because he.
Well, where did Woggle come
It's all taped back.
from? The term Woggle.
Actually, wasn't it Dad that did that Woggle toast?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the Woggle toast, and I still
Is he a
agree.
nickname guy? Did he give you his own name?
I was the worthy James. I was the worthy James.
Well, John called me Beeps. That was John, your father called me that.
Still know you.
Then he became,
Beeps.
then he became,
Beaver John.
That was John. That was John.
then he became Beaver after that.
But
Well, that had nothing to do with that. Was
had
college.
nothing- Totally different thing. No, that wasn't college.
No.
You know where that was? That name Beaver came from Al Mooney. Al Mooney. We went to Judge and I was about the 7th grade in the locker room and had my hair would stick straight up in the air. And didn't cut it down, but I mean it would stick straight up in the air. And it was a good deal. I was round, shall we say. Chunky.
Heavy.
And Al Mooney hung that on me. The little Beaver comic strip, remember that? The little fat guy that, that's where it came from.
Wow.
And I'll never forgive him for it. May he rot in hell.
Well, he's already dead.
I'm sure he is as we speak.
Bob knew he was safe because he's gone either way.
Yeah. Okay, I think this. But no, I'm sure that
Okay.
would work.
Hey.
Work.
Baby, like the finest wine.
or like practice, like everybody was repeating themselves. Yeah, the big kids who all would be repeating and like trying to make it sound like they did like big technical things.
Right. Very good.
Mine is extremely like I am
Woo! All right.
Can I get my camera out of your car?
Yeah.
Wait, is it this key?
Is it in front?
No, that's in your like front seat.
How goes it?
Now might be a good time to buy Kodak stock.
Now it's getting dark. We're really
Standard stock.
Kayla, are you there? Is that it?
Who's Canada?
Mike, you can take one more of that.
Oh, yourself, right?
That's Jim. That's Christy's kid, Jim. Wearing the striped shirt in the back with the goatee. And the dark mustache, that one. Yeah, it is. I mean, that's, even though he doesn't have, red hair and stuff like that, that's Christy's kid. That's Bryce, too. That's Jim. I know he's got a brother that's a lot like him without a goatee. It's Christy, Mike, and Doug Neville.
Good eye. Got it.
You guys can go.
We haven't spent a lot of time.
It's everything,
No, Mike.
She's over at Sandy. I know.
Tell Ellie to smile. I like to because you're too far away. We need to get away.
Wait.
What do you say, Coda? One more.
So Richard, the light goes on, the light flashes. There's like a light flash when I took it.
Stop it, Ellie!
Leave him alone.
Wait, stay still.
Oh, great. That was good. That extended kiss. That was pretty good. Oh, just here. But some of us aren't that quick.
We're distracted.
Come on, back.